Ladies and gentlemen, before we start, I've been chewing on a few things. Let's be clear. This is a damn good game, right? Like, I think I've made my opinion on that clear. And there's a cutscene at the end of this next section that can cause a hard crash on the entire computer, requiring a hard side. So that's cool. You're fine, Rex. That would be negative worthy by itself. So if it's a reliably repeatable bug, that's more than one negative. But let's get back on it. So I was cleaning up the document. Obviously, I still have a few things to decide upon. Speaking of which, let me double check something real quick here. Yeah, that's what I thought. So that's a triple. This feels like a single then. There we go. So yeah, I was tuned to the thing and I was like, hey, let's talk. Because there are definitely some issues I have with the game. And those issues are that I don't have tomato garlic chicken curry right now. So the biggest issues I've already kind of mentioned several times. But if you've been paying attention, I've already given A negative for brickwork and A negative for tone. After some thought, I think I'm actually going to double both of those negatives. Now, hang on. Before you jump down my throat and tell me I'm the worst person in the known universe, I've been thinking about this a lot. Yeah, we could argue this back and forth, and Lord knows not every game has to be for every person and blah, 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 but I think the ultimate thing that pushes both of these into multiple negative territories is twofold. First, they're really hammering the same point over and over constantly. This applies to both things equally. The visuals have been far too drab consistently up until very recently. In fact, today, actually. And they've been hammering just how messed up this world is over and over and over and over again. And I do think that that by itself is something that's just kind of like, okay, I get it. If I can explain for a moment. Yeah, it's a bit redundant. Like, if I tell you something, and especially if I tell it well, there's a good chance you'll understand and you'll appreciate that. If I tell you it a second time, that might reiterate it. If I tell you it a third time, that might work as well. If I tell you it a fourth time, we start to run into issues. If I tell you it a fifth time, you start to tune me out. And that's the problem. Several people have asked if this game was affecting me in terms of depression or bleak, but the answer is no, because, and I realized this during the lunch break, I've started tuning it out. It's just noise at a certain point, because it's just this constant cavalcade. And it has been the whole game, to be very clear. The fact that we happen to have just gone through one of the darker sections should have had impact, but it didn't. If I can use a contrast here, I don't want to spoil too much, but Endwalker, Garlemald. That was a really dark section of that particular expansion. And yet, it didn't overstay its welcome, and it managed to hit those points precisely and powerfully to the point where I was just like, oh my god! And it just smacked me right across the face. But it had so much impact because of the fact that they hadn't dulled it first, right? I wasn't dulled to the horror. Right? I wasn't at the point where I was just like, okay. Yep, things continue to suck. I get it. That's why that's a negative. And again, this kind of drifts into the brickwork thing, too. You could fairly argue that, you know, this kind of a world should be drab and dull to look at. And I could even buy that. But after a certain point, it gets to the point where I'm barely even noticing the visuals. In a game with this high of general graphic fidelity, I have hardly given any brickwork or visual storytelling positives. And I've rechecked that opinion several times and reconfirmed it. It's the same general problem, just in a different expression. Now again, we'll see if that continues going forward, but you get the point. And yeah, to the second point I was going to make there, the second thing I was going to use to make my point, if those two quests, the noblewoman's son and the farmer's daughter, if those two quests were like it, that would have hit like a punch right to the gut. Imagine you get out here to Senbrek territory, and it's like, hey, we're here, and it's like, yeah, we'll let you in because you're you're with her. Okay, cool. And then you go in, and then you help try to find this guy, and you go out, and you find those 2 side quests. It's like, oh, let's go do these side quests. Boom! That's right in the gut at that point. I did still like the daughter quest. In fact, I gave it its own positive, because it's really well constructed, especially in how much it does with how little screen time it has, right? I guessed immediately that she was referring to a bearer, as opposed to a toy or a pet or whatever. But what really made that work is, exactly, we actually talked to her and convey to her the information she was lacking, that her parents have failed her at. And she says casual comments which don't really make her horrible, but rather enforce the idea of what kind of world she grows up in. We see, this is the weirdest song to play for this, but whatever, I'm just going to leave it running. The word choice, the sentence structure, someone spent some time on that quest. Through her words, we see the world she grows up in, and we learn everything we need to know about how absolutely messed up this whole place is. And when we convey to her the truth, even the child can understand how messed up it is, and she starts crying. Bam! That's powerful right there. That's why that gets its own positive. That's honestly my favorite side quest of the whole game so far. And it's a good thing I can enjoy that, despite the gluck of everything else. The second thing I want to comment on is the padding issue. I think it actually is a double whammy. Rax helped put some words to me. I'm going to read. Do you mind if I read you word for word here? I can't read your first point because it's spoilered. Rax says, hang on, let me get my best Rax voice going on here. Beyond the viscerality of some, this is what Rax actually sounds like, of some attacks, many of which we don't have access to yet, as well as the parry and the counter, the combat lacks a lot of weight. Sorry, I'll stop. Go watch the FF9 theater. He voices Zidane. This is partially hurt by the HP sponge thing, as Takoida mentioned, but I don't think it's due to the MMO design leaching into 16, nor do I think it's as severe as he says. For the most part, though, this can be easily changed by altering sound design and increasing hit stun that each strike does to enemies. The sound may seem like a small thing, but it's a huge factor in the feedback of an attack. Because, yeah, it does. It just sounds just like Zidane. Rax. Whatever. Combat is really good in this game, which is why it's frustrating that it's so boring sometimes. There are several long swaths of just, all right. And I've found myself trying to force myself to come up with something to talk about during combat sections. Now, you could argue that about a lot of FFs. That's not exactly an exclusive thing here. But the thing that bothers me here is it's a solvable problem. I really do think those 2 spokes being fixed would solve this. First and foremost, reduce the health. You don't necessarily need to reduce the health of most of the bosses. So far, most of their health values have been pretty much exactly where I think it should be. But like the mini-boss enemies, like that fat guy we fought back in town, or most of the just general trash that we fight, or just about anybody with a stagger bar that also isn't a boss, like the Minotaurs, their health needs to be shrunk to the point where I should feel like I go through a full good cycle of attacks, which I have done properly. This I swear I'm not timing this music. Where I go through a full cycle of attacks, do my job properly, dodge, counterattack, use Garuda to break the stagger, then use Phoenix to kill it. That should be the thing that kills it. Instead, their health is at half, or at 2/3 in some bad cases. And no, because then I just repeat it. And in some cases, repeat again. Yeah, exactly, Rax. One full rotation of my combat kit should knock that over. Now, several people have said what Doom Rider just mentioned, that eventually the combat gets better, and that's valid. An inordinate quantity of JRPGs in particular have the problem of early game kit. My personal favorite example of that is Kingdom Hearts 1, where you have access to jumping and swinging. Keeping in mind Kingdom Hearts 1 could be a pretty fun game, but you wouldn't know it at the beginning. The catch there is that we're, at this point, I think we're 21 hours. Hang on, where's my list? We're approaching 20. We're actually over, excuse me. We're 21 hours into this game. Why is this still my limited kit? right? You see the complaint there. I'm getting a little bit off the rails, but my point is, we should have already reached the point where combat should be speeding up, is what I'm trying to say. So the health needs to be shrunk, but, and this is the thing that I was trying to chew on and that Rax put such perspective onto, the sound design isn't there. I kind of hinted at this earlier when I mentioned viscerality, because it certainly looks cool, but it doesn't sound cool and it doesn't feel cool to fight, at least not at this point. And again, we're 21 hours in, excuse me. There needs to be more oomph to the combat. I need to feel like I'm doing more, and I need to have more audio hitback. Yeah, we absolutely should have Titan already. I cannot believe we don't have Titan already. Nice! I'm on Falkenstein. Sorry. Yeah, 20 hours, I don't mean to bury the lead on this either, but think about how many JRPGs, even FFs, we would have beaten by now. It's not a small number. Yeah, Shiva would make perfect sense if you wanted to save the boss fight or something. Because obviously we're going to go after Hugo as some big boss fight. But we've barely come into the beginnings of him actually joining the narrative again. And yeah, Ramuh's right over there, you know? Give us some of our additional kit. I know that some games have this thing where they insist on giving you kit way too late in the game. It's one of my biggest complaints about Final Fantasy VII, for example. I don't think it applies here. Because of the nature of how the ability system works and the respec, there's no real detriment for pushing a lot of the icons forward. Because let's say we did randomly get Shiva and Ramuh and Titan already, right? Cool. But that doesn't mean we have access to our full kit yet. We still have to level those up, gain the abilities, play around with which specific moves they get us, yada, yada, yada. But we get the basics, and we could play around with them, and we could try different loadouts, and we could try different builds, and that's a thing we could do, which we can't really do yet, because we're still stuck with just Garuda and Ifrit, or Phoenix, whatever. You get my point. Anyways, point being, I do think this is a bit of an early game problem. I think that's what this really boils down to. The game is taking too long to get going. The freight train, right? Come on. just get... Okay, so the next thing I wanted to mention is the visual side of things. Oh no, I already talked about that. Excuse me. Let's scooch back that. First impressions matter. Yep. Sirius Quest has a spoiler, so I can't look at that. I do, however, agree, and I've been chewing on this. As of this exact moment in time, I feel like the side quests are a triple negative right now, gameplay-wise, because they're dull as dishwater. And I don't even know if that's going to improve. I don't know if I'm going to give additional negatives to that. But most of the side quests are very, very basic X of Ys, or in some cases involve no gameplay whatsoever. Literally just talking to someone. Now, that's semi-common. It's actually very normal for side quests, secondary as I usually call them, to be negatives to gameplay and pluses to story. But the thing is, other than the world building, which I've given a plus for, and the one side quest which was awesome, which I give a plus for, I don't think they're doing the heavy lifting they really need to be doing, especially since we tie all the way back to my first problem. They're hitting the same points too much. You remember the side quest, I think it was a side quest, where there was the two bearers who were shocked at, you know, we even talked about it. They were allowed to sit down, and they were allowed to ask for food. You remember that? Town music. I'm just timing this at this point, I swear. Cool. Awesome. We've seen that exact plot point repeated 20 times before then, and 30 times since. At a certain point, the side quests aren't really doing anything for the world building anymore. Do you know what I mean? We got the idea across, and now they're repeating it. And gear. Now, I've been debating this, and I don't think I'm going to give a negative for this. But I feel like this is a game that's probably not going to get a plus to itemization. Because the gear is... It's vertical progression. There's no horizontal progression here, like, at all, at least not so far. This increases... You can increase your HP, your defense, your attack, or your stagger. Or you can increase the percentage damage of a specific ability. That is it. These 5 stat points are 100% of what we have gotten so far in terms of gear. And I mean, I hate to bury the lead on this, but both Chrono Trigger and FF6 have access to much more interesting accessories or relics, which we had access to much earlier in the game. Hell, both games I just mentioned also have more interesting weapon design, too. So, not super great. I need to write that down, too. And that's all my thoughts so far, or rather all of Rax's thoughts that I'm stealing. I'm making them my own. Stamp. There we go. He also mentioned that the party AI is just whatever. I actually was thinking about that, too. I really wish that I had the ability to customize my party AI. I was thinking about that as I was going through something today. I forget which combat it was. Might have been the dungeon when we were fighting the Fallen. Because it would be really nice to set Jill, I almost said Shiva, to something. To anything, actually. You know, as Rax himself pointed out, even being able to say, please prioritize healing me over other actions, or use abilities the moment you can, or use items the moment you can. And that's Kingdom Hearts gambits, which aren't good, to be blunt, but they are more than nothing. A true gambit system is even better. You know, FF12 style, or Dragon Age Origins, or Dragon Age 2 style. That's great. But instead we have nothing. And so I have zero control over my party, and at this point they're functionally bonus points. I even got confused about this, and you can make fun of me for this, because I actually legitimately thought at a certain point that my party members weren't doing anything, because it was so difficult to tell they were doing anything. Partially because of the feedback issue, but partially because I have so little control over them, and I'm just trying to do what I can, as if they didn't even exist. Again, that's probably not a negative. But it is definitely something that is an absence of a positive, I think. Okay, sorry for my boring 17 minutes of thoughts. For those of you wanting my rumination on the game, I think you just saw it. Now, Rax did ask a question about the spoiler, and all I'm going to say is that I know who the final boss is, and leave that at that. I actually mentioned this a few months ago. And I even have some thoughts about that, which I am going to save because I'm not even sure if they're true. No, that's it. That's the only spoiler I got so far. The guy's name is Racism. The worst part is, he's proud of it. How far are we into the game? 2 feet. No, actually, fun fact. So I decided to look up a walkthrough of this game. Check this out. Hang on. I'll do it again right now. And you're going to be like, oh my god, spoilers. No, don't worry. I got this. Trust me. So if you look up a walkthrough, the first thing it says is a list of chapters. We just hit the chapter that is quite literally in the middle of the list. Now, I don't know how much stuff there's going to be after this point. But in terms of MSQ, we are at the 50% mark on the dot right now. Someone did it for me, Loke, and then it bothered me, so I decided to look into it a little bit. So yeah, we're... Act 1 probably... Based on what we've seen so far, I would say this is probably a 5-act structure. No, Retro Justice, just this once and just for you, and for absolutely no other reason, even though we always cover DLCs 100% of the time, as long as they're out, we're not going to cover the DLCs because I hate you personally. Anyways, so... Why do people ask that question? Words. We had Act 1 already. Most of that was the setup, the prologue, the intro, and stuff. I think Act 2 was primarily the focus and lead up to Phoenix Gate, which was clearly the conclusion. No, Ross! Which is clearly the conclusion for the Phoenix Gate. Or for Act 2, excuse me. Screw my words. I feel like we're about to finish Act 3. We've had, like, the rejoinder moment. We've had... Things are actually... Despite the fact that we're in the belly of the beast, as Rax pointed out, we're actually at the point where things are actually on an upswing. We have more resources, more access, more talents. We've started getting more connections. We have a goal. We have an idea of what's going on. I'm predicting right now, based surely on purely on narrative structure, that what's about to happen is we're about to have our darkest moment. And that'll be the end of Act 3. Act 4 will then be the recovery from that, and Act 5 will be the finale. So completely ignoring the review, which is very difficult for me to do because my mind is boring and stupid. But if I was to, no, I know, Rex, I know. If I was to just say what I think of this game, I think of this game as, I could summarize it in a single word. Can you guess what that word is? Can you make my day a little bit? My brain, no, my brain. Sushi, yeah, no. There you go. Roxy got it. Coffee. It reminds me a lot of early Game of Thrones. A really well done show by many accounts that I just didn't like. I just couldn't get into for its own reasons. Now, video games are a bit different from shows. It's not quite the same thing. There's no second axis when it comes to a show or a movie or non-interactive medium. That's true, Rex, unless you add a lot of sugar and milk. But my point is, this game feels like a very well-constructed game that I'm just not gelling with. Other than the combat, except I'm getting bored of the combat. So I know that's like a more long answer. Several asterisks at the end of each point. But I hope that gets across my overall vibe. So far, the boss fights are definitely the standout. I haven't seen like a single boss fight that hasn't at least been enjoyable to some extent or another. And each, there's a bit, we're starting to drift into Dragon Age 2 syndrome. I just talked about that, right? Where's our frickin' kit? Give me the kit so I can really start having fun with it, right? And yeah, like just one of the things that was mentioned, I actually saw a friend of mine commented this, not Rack, someone else, that it was a shame how good Phoenix was because Phoenix gets really boring really fast, right? Sure, you've got your two basic attacks, but what is Phoenix at its fundamental core? Attack, weave, okay. And then the moment they stagger, or juggle, the moment they juggle it all, you do the lunge, which perfectly sets you up for the strike attack, which does a crap ton of damage, and then you just do that. There it is. There's your combat loop. It is fun. That's the point of Dragon Age 2 Syndrome. But I've already sort of started reaching the point where I'm just like, all right, let's go. I mean, you're right, Loke. Every time I compare something to Dragon Age 2, every friggin' time. Now, the difference, Dragon Age 2 never got better and had way more combat.
Then it's fortunate the City Guard doesn't take sentry assignment as seriously as you do. This bodes well.
That'll be a first. This may not be such a terrible plan after all.
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
Only that your last secret shortcut was nowhere near as secret as you claimed.
Yeah, but that's half the fun of it. Life's too short for perfect plans. You want a plan that'll keep you on your toes, stop you growing old and complacent.
Worked for you, has it?
Clive, my boy, even life's smallest challenges offer the opportunity to grow and to change. You must embrace these moments. Allow them to suffuse your heart with a deep sense of fulfillment.
Narrowly escaping death at the hands of an enemy is not my idea of fulfillment.
Something wrong?
Not at all. Just wondering if the two of you had finished.
Right. We make for the Mother Crystal's heart as planned. Destroy it and the whole thing should come tumbling down.
And if the passage to the inner sanctum is guarded?
Then we embrace the moment and use it to grow and change.
Listen, nobody wants to read. I was elected to lead.
Come on,
to read.
this way. Try to stay out of sight.
Obviously.
It's gonna be fine, Meatfist. Sid's about to die.
So you did have to...
I think the voice acting's fantastic, personally. They do tend to, yes, Ross. I was just as a curiosity looking at how long Dragon Age 2 was. 35 hours, for reference. So we're about 60% of the way through Dragon Age 2 right now.
Let's get this over with.
One single man from reaching the sanctum, so shut your gob and keep your eyes open.
They're not from the garrison.
I
swear this passage used to be...
The enemy's upon us!
Of course it is.
Perfect plans, Clive. Perfect plans.
There, boy! Sick of Toggle! Get him! Sick of Toggle! Finished! There, boy!
I think we broke all the tables. The reason I brought up the Dragon Age 2 thing in comparison, one thing I am grateful for this game for, and I'm not going to give a negative for, is encounter rate. Something, a negative I will give to many Final Fantasies when we get there. Dragon Age 2's biggest problem is that it just flung enemy after enemy after enemy after enemy after you. Granted, Dragon Age 2's combat would probably get old after about 35 hours of playtime. But really, for those of you who've played the game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But for those of you who haven't, imagine the encounter we just did. All right, now imagine an entire other wave of the same number of enemies just spawns as soon as we finish it. And then a third one. And then we go down this way. And there's Cid. And we go over this thing. And then there's another encounter, like right around the bend. Dragon Age 2 drowned its players in combat.
They never stood a chance.
You're welcome.
So that's something that I do think this game does right. There's much, much fewer combats, and they're more precisely placed rather than just drowning you in them.
That would be my guess.
Oh, it would be awful if this game had that encounter rate. I mean, imagine the... Well, I'll just cut to the jugular here. Imagine the Breath of Fire 2 encounter rate with this game. Oh. My God.
And all good things must come to an end. We might have a bit more company from now on.
Captain! To arms, men! Summon the cannoneer! Stay down! Wake! Get him! You know what to avoid to the likes of sick of Toggle. It's over. Get him! Get him!
One thing I'm looking forward to doing someday is playing FF7R2 and really gauging how much I prefer that combat or this one.
There, boy! Over here.
So, health sponging is almost always a negative. But the thing about that is that there is such a thing as having too little health, too. having it's kind of like a curve, right? Too little health is bad, and then there's the sweet spot, which is right here. Where it is varies, but this is what you want the health to be. But then every bit of additional health on top of that makes it worse until you get right back to awful. And I don't know why I leveled it out. It just keeps getting worse the more health you give. So it's like, and right around here is where you want it. Exactly, Blachel. You want to be able to let the player feel powerful. You want to feel like you can actually use your kit. You want the enemies to be able to show off their kit, their abilities, their attacks, etc. So you want somewhere up here. This is probably down about here-ish, I would say. Not too far down the line, but it's definitely further down than I would like. I can name some other games which are much further down than that. So this is the Cannoneer, though.
This may be the moment I was talking about earlier.
What have we here? More insects come to be squashed? You will find my mortar and I only too happy to oblige.
To the talker.
Then let's shut him up.
Hear the bass line? Jesus.
Get him, boy!
Need to end this quickly. That's better.
He likes to stagger. Now, this is a Dark Souls fight right here.
Do you feel that? Something in the air.
Ether. It's ether.
Then we better make this quick. Too slow.
Sick of talking! Get him, boy!
What is this a mix of? I can hear themes in this.
Flames to me!
So, to go back to what I talked about earlier, that's a decent amount of health.
Is he?
Bollocks.
Exactly, Glitchable.
It's gone Akashic.
So they've mentioned Akashic twice so far.
Poor wretch.
Of course.
Save your pity. You get none in return. There's nothing left of him but hatred and rage.
Let's end his torment. Not this time.
Sick of talking! There, boy!
Too slow. Not this time.
Element of hate.
Get him, boy!
Well done, Torgal. Thank you, Jill.
I thought I was going to time that right. Oh, well.
Second toggle. Get him, boy! Get him, boy! Over here. This time. There, boy! Second toggle! Get him! Second toggle! Who's that? Get him!
I hope this is at least mildly entertaining to watch, by the way. I've been trying to be as entertaining as I can during most of these.
Get him, boy! There, boy!
Anybody who's ever watched me play Dark Souls or Bloodborne, all bosses, no cheating, knows that I prefer no lock-on. It's just a style thing at this point. I don't know. Whoa!
Used to that. Akashic or no, he was still a man. A man who drowned in ether.
It's no way for anyone to go.
Come on.
Well, I mean, I am good at video games, Roxy.
God, duty's a death sentence in this place. Not that Sylvester cares.
Yeah, I was just saying, can I take the cannon? Can I? Especially when I don't have a headache. Which I don't have a headache right now. Kingdom Hearts is a little bit different. And I can even explain the difference very simply. Some games like this, they do this thing where you've got this passive lock-on, right? A soft lock-on. A soft lock? I don't know. Which is important because it kind of keeps the camera roughly where it should be. Kingdom Hearts doesn't have that at all. It would be doing this thing, which is fine, but there's a lot of attacks you really need to see what's happening and where it's coming with regards to Kingdom Hearts. Except when they do the soft lock-on, so it kind of provides the same thing, and you get it. Yeah, in Souls games, there's a lot of bosses where it's just you have more control over what you're doing when you're not locking on. In terms of dodging, in terms of maneuvering, etc. I probably shouldn't be approaching this like a Souls-like, but whatever. I do the same thing in Devil May Cry 5. And 4, and 3, and... In 2, however...
Oh, breathe deep of the blessing, my friends. Who said being a dominant doesn't have its benefits?
Sid, this is an ether flood.
There shouldn't be one here, should there? The workers couldn't survive this.
Well, it wasn't here last time, I can tell you that. Which means we need to be quick. The ether won't hurt us, but I'd rather not find out what it's done to everyone else.
Yeah, that's another thing. If you've seen me play Devil May Cry 5, or 3, you'll know that I'm really big on Royal Guard. It's one of my... Oh, and 4. It's one of my favorite stances. Where the hell's my frickin' Royal Guard? Yeah, exactly, Rex. Dodging's fine, but... No. So, anyone else getting some Mist vibes from this? As in FF12 Mist, to be more specific. Also Mist from 9, now that I think about it. Hey, are you guys alive?
The miners. The gods.
Too far gone. The Aether's made monsters of them. All we can do now is put them out of their
They
misery.
really do actually vanish.
She thought the Empire might be planning to abandon the capital. Could this be why?
You said you could call her Isabel.
Sid,
Never mind. If ever there was a reason to up sticks, an Aether flood would be it. Those guards at the gate. They weren't there to keep people out.
They were there to keep the Akashic in.
oh, absolutely right. So,
You know what to do, boy.
to kind of go back to my earlier point, this is an interesting and new development in things. While they've mentioned Akashic before, this is the first time it's actually been showcased in the game. 21 hours in. This is fascinating and has a lot of large-scale implications, and generally fits with what we know of how magic is in this setting. Where was this before now? Yeah, I think magic might be bad. I don't know. It's a vibe I'm getting, you know? Dude, he's just a good voice actor. He's well known for his distinctive voice. You know, he's one of those actors who only has one acting voice. He's just really good at it. Like, if you've heard him in Diablo 4, he sounds exactly like this. If you've heard him in Game of Thrones, he sounds exactly like this. If you've heard him in The Office, you get it. He's just got his one voice. He's just really, really good at it. See, that's a good question, Roxy, and that's one of the first things I was thinking about. Oh, I don't remember. Could someone look up what he played in Game of Thrones, please?
Doesn't look that far. Right.
Yeah. Yep. Weird sound design for that.
Some help.
Hold on!
That's twice Clive has brought someone back from the brink. Literally. Which makes sense considering how often both Gav and Sid had brought him back from the brink, metaphorically.
Not quite as spry as I used to be.
I'll take that as a thank you.
Look on the bright side, eh? At least you won't get lost.
Thank you, Miranda. And yeah, Pillars of Snow is right. There's a lot of voice actors where they just sound like themselves. And that's what they do. And then there's voice actors where you can't even tell it's them. Armin Shimmerman. That's an actor with some range. Half the time when I tell someone who he voices, they're like, "That's Armin Shimmerman?" Dude has crazy range. Oh yeah, I never explained that, did I? Some of you may or may not have noticed that I was comparing this game to Ni no Kuni earlier. How many of you played Ni no Kuni?
You know what to do, boy.
Darren DePaul is also really good at stretching his range out. I mean, he's got his voice, which is his voice, but then he's got everything else he does. So, for those of you who have not played Ni no Kuni, or excuse me, Kuni, sorry, the first one.
You know what to do, boy.
Yeah, of course I played, Diablo 4, whatever. Like, we talked about this, I don't understand your question. Ni no Kuni is, let's be clear, a good game, but it has one pretty glaring flaw to it. The game is still tutorializing you 20 hours in. Like, it's, and I don't mean like little things, I mean like, hey, here's this other completely brand new mechanic we haven't even mentioned before. Here's how it works. And it just keeps going. And it just keeps going. And they just, every chapter, it's like, here's this other new thing. Here's this other new thing. Here's this other new thing. No, I've never reviewed Diablo 4. And I never will. It's actually vetoed. No, 13 isn't that bad. Ni no Kuni might be one of the worst games I've ever seen that does that exact thing, where they just keep introducing new crap to combat. Hours and hours and hours. And it's very deliberate. You can tell what they decided to do. They wanted to, like they came up with the combat system. And then they built the combat system, and then they added one of the mechanics to it each chapter. But I don't mean like what you're thinking. It's not like Paper Mario where you get new badges and new kit and new party members each chapter. It's more like, and now you've unlocked the ability to jump. And now you've unlocked the ability to do the double jump. And, or like to see enemy health, or to gain access to the limit bar, or whatever. Like what I would usually refer to as core mechanics being unlocked after literal hours. It is arduous. Ni no Kuni is a good game, but God, that combat. It has a bit of that early game problem I mentioned just a bit ago with regards to this game as well. Hi, Evo. Evo's here to tell me, Lore, I disagree with you and you're stupid. Alright, go ahead, Evo. I'll wait. Well, we're past Bleak, thank God. Now we're just dealing with zombies. Now, that sounds like a joke. However, I do need to stress that this zombification thing is legitimately less bleak than what we were just experiencing. Oh, fat guy. Let's go deal with other stuff first.
Sick of Toggle! That's enough!
No, you get to be later. Hey, Jim Cummings, another guy. Sometimes I can't even tell it's him at all, and I have a really good ear for the voices.
Not this time. Sick of Toggle!
That's an interesting question, Earth. What do you find about it that's more bleak? Like, I don't know, for me personally, breaking down people to the point where they're seen as subhuman and forcing them to slowly torture themselves to death is more bleak than you're dead in every way that matters, and your body is still operating after you. Those just hit differently. Yeah, that's another thing. We can literally beat zombies to death, and that's the end of it. These people are already dead in every way that matters, right? We're not even killing people at this point.
Sick of Toggle!
But when someone's, you know, being racismed into despair to the point where they refuse to eat a meal we've brought them because they're worried that they will be beaten if they take a break or eat. Like, yeah, no, I think the early stuff is more like, thanks.
Sick of Toggle!
That's why I hire Braga. She's got the pointy bits to destroy institutional racism.
That's enough. Over here. Not this time.
Hey, off the deep end.
There, boy!
we're gonna go kill God. You're like, yo, alright, dude. This ain't cool. He's gonna be like, what?
You know what to do, boy. Get him. Get him, boy. Sick of Torgal.
I thought I managed that.
Get him.
You know, that's a good point, Bladable. Oh yeah, Frank Welker. That's another good example. Where am I? I should turn around after that. This way. Hey. Yeah, no, there's really good indicators of parry, counter, and when you do the stagger breaks, too. It's not like they don't know how to do combat indications. Ah. Wow, Linnerith. I've never heard a take like that. That's fascinating. Thank you for sharing. Oh, hello. Gear, here we go. No, I'm not being sarcastic at all, Linnerith. If I was being sarcastic... Okay, in fairness, you probably couldn't tell from my tone, because I'm told nobody can tell my sarcasm. Let me see. Let me try to think of something sarcastic I could say. Thank you for stabbing me directly through the heart, Linnerith. I was worried if you got a little bit to the side, then that would have hurt a little bit more. But now I get to die a little bit quicker. And that quickness, I really appreciate that, so thank you. That would be me being sarcastic. I haven't really played around with these yet. Why don't we go ahead and play around with these a little bit? Let me make sure we have all these, which we do. What does that change? Oh, it just extends it. It does sound like the same tone, but it's a little bit more obvious that I'm being sarcastic. Context clues. Zombies, Spartan. I am not joking. Anyways, but no, I really was not being sarcastic. See, to me, eternal pain is worse than death. I can say that, and I'm going to be serious for just 1 second. I can actually say that because I've experienced what I personally consider to be worse than death in real life. No joking, no memeing, no whatever. I have been through things that I wish I had not survived. And I can't say I regret still being alive, but in the interest of total honesty, if at the time you'd given me a button I could have pressed to just end my suffering, I would have hit it without hesitation. And I still think that now. So to me, when you are forced into something that is horrific, and that's just it, that's your life, end sentence, life sucks, period, end of the sentence, that is worse than death. Being able to be dead, which is what being a zombie is in every way, that is something that I will take 10 times out of 10 over something that is just eternal suffering. Yeah, complete hopelessness. I can't deal with that. I really can't. I actually cannot deal with it. Which is why I am grateful that this is a Final Fantasy game, and we probably are going to improve things by the end of the game. I was actually thinking about that, too. This is one of the truly rare times... No, Spartan. That... and I'm actually answering your question right now. It's one of those truly rare times where the fact that this is a such-and-such game, you know, the brand, is actually improving my enjoyment. And I can explain why. Rax already knows where I'm going with this. It's because this is a Final Fantasy game. Of course we're going to make things better by the end of it. If I didn't know that, I honestly probably would have a lot harder time dealing with this, right? I'd just be like, and I'd probably be sitting here kind of like this, going through the combat. Fun combat, but, you know, just dealing with it. Because, who knows? If you remember, I can actually give a specific example of something when I've been through this. Dragon Age Origins. The first time I played Dragon Age Origins, I had no idea if we were going to be able to improve things. And my first playthrough of Dragon Age Origins was pretty bleak, in part because I didn't realize that such options existed within that game, and that we could actually, improve things, that we could actually make the world a better place. It's one of the dominant themes of Dragon Age Origins, actually. It's one of the reasons I love that game. So let's do this, I think. We should be... Okay, so there's our shield.
I see they replaced that wooden door with something a little more sturdy.
Steer while doing it. Ooh, that lasts a minute. Exactly off the deeper end. So once again, the brand is literally helping me, because I know we're going to improve this crap.
On the count of 3.
What happened to 2?
Ask 1.
Once more.
Aye, seeing as you're trying now. As if that was going to keep us out.
No, absolutely. As Meadfist just pointed out, one of the reasons I have a hard time dealing with the Souls games is you don't make those worlds a better place as you're going through them. In most Souls games, the world sucks, period, end sentence. There's no improving things. In many Souls games, it is debatable that the best possible ending is to not reignite the fire, which means for everything to die. I have trouble dealing with that. I get enough of that in real life.
The mother crystal's just up ahead.
Is it? I can't see a thing.
Well, unless someone's moved it.
Damn it, Sid. If you don't mind, Loke, sometime when you have time, I'd love to know which endings you think are actually an improvement. Because I have some thoughts on that too, but that's super spoilery, you know? Yeah, the world functionally died years ago in the Souls games.
There's no one about.
Oh, God. Yeah, actually, one last thing, and then I swear I'll leave this topic alone. You know why I hate Chrono Cross? It's not because I particularly think it's a bad game. In fact, to be completely honest with you, after the 15, 20 some odd years it's been since I played that game last, I barely remember the actual gameplay of Chrono Cross. What I hate about Chrono Cross is it took an unabashedly positive ending and spit on it. And just ground it into the dirt and said, no. Now, all that good stuff you thought happened, no, it's not actually bad. It's even worse than bad. And everything's going to become even worse. And unless you do the super-duper no-really ending, things get even worse. And even in that case, there's still everything left in the Dead Sea. Chrono Cross is probably a good game. I'm willing to acknowledge that in a vacuum. But all I can think about is how much it took something I love and just said, nah, bleak.
I knew it would be big. But this...
You've seen it from the outside.
There. That's our way into the inner sanctum.
I don't remember, Loke, to be honest with you.
You'd think they'd have patched that up by now. A sorry state the Empire's in.
Wait. You don't mean...
Aye. My little game of hide-and-seek with Bahamut ended here. at tragic cost to this remarkable architecture. Don't blame me, he started it.
But how did he make it out alive?
I walked. You should try it.
Because empires are evil and kingdoms are good. But the broader answer to that and more accurate answer to that is World War I.
Oh, no.
Them again.
Is there something you two want to tell me?
Maybe later.
That's not a joke, by the way.
You know what to do, boy. Sick of Torgal.
Oh, right.
There, boy. You know what to do, boy.
Hey, Steppenwolf.
How could those creatures from Phoenix Gate be here in the mines?
Are the two places connected somehow?
Nice place. I mean, we already saw underneath at Phoenix Gate. No, it's a nice vibe, look. Also, we're pretty sure, well, I'm pretty sure there are some ancient ones. They call themselves Fallen. Don't know much about them, other than that they're insect-like.
Stay down. Keep your distance, boy.
Well, like these things, but more so. We got some good shots of them earlier at the Phoenix Gate, because there was an honest-to-goodness ancient ruins there. That was one of the only things you actually missed earlier.
You know what to do, boy. Stay down. Sick of Torgal.
Ah, now like that guy, he was in the ruins.
You know what to do, boy.
I mean, all joking aside, if you asked me to put a guess right now as to what the Red Star is, it's probably not Lavos. It's probably a floating city.
Sick of Torgal. Over here.
That's some interesting damage.
There, boy. You know what to do, boy.
Unsure, Lunerith. Not enough data to pull from. It could just be an aesthetic. That kind of visual storytelling should mean something. But it doesn't always. Cough, cough, Mass Effect Andromeda.
You know what to do, boy. Too slow. Get him.
Stop running from me.
Sick of Torgal. Don't let them get away. There, boy. Get him.
Sorry, I should explain that. For those of you who weren't there for Mass Effect Andromeda, in almost every major shot of the solar system that you're in, that the whole game occurs within, there's this like black hole thing visible in the distance. And it's so obvious of visual storytelling that I kept speculating on what it meant. Here's the answer. Nothing. It's just part of the skybox. It's just part of the only skybox. So it's just always there. Ah, Andromeda. You always find new and inventive ways to disappoint me.
When I was in the Imperial Army, soldiers assigned to the Glass Gate would tell stories about something they called the Guardian.
Can't say I saw anything like that when I was last here. Then again, I can't say I made it this far.
It
Let's
will
be
be,
careful.
Lord Harrimont. Wait, hang on. Evo asked a question. That question is, why haven't you seen my questions? It's okay. See, before you kill me, I just need to kind of go over here. I left the oven on. Okay, Evo, please, whatever you do, don't kill me. No. Yeah, good news. Good news. I managed to successfully fend off the Evo. Oh man, hell of a fight. Whew. I thought the Sephiroth fight was bad, man. Do most FF games have kingdoms and monarchy? Yes. Is monarchy always portrayed positively? No. Having said that... Oh, no, not yet.
Where did that come from?
If I had to guess...
Poor beast. Another victim of the flood.
So, animals get hit by Akashic energies too. I wonder if plants do.
Well, if it's a fight he wants.
Ready, Clive?
Always. Sick 'em, Torgal.
Yeah, why isn't Torgal Akashicing right now?
Get him.
Perhaps a better question is, why aren't they questioning why isn't he?
There, boy. Sick 'em, Torgal.
Torgal. Over here. Get him, boy.
Where's he off to now?
Get him.
Clive, look out!
Get him, boy.
Catch trail at the moment.
Get him.
1 second.
You know what to do, boy. Over here. Sick him, Torgal. Get him, boy. There, boy. Sick him, Torgal.
I've actually already given a negative for the audio spam of Sick'em Torgo. You got this, boy. Go ahead, boy. Kill their face, boy.
Get him.
Get him, boy.
There, boy.
Yeah, boy. You know what to do, boy.
Sick him, Torgal.
Sick'em Torgo. Yeah, it's non-stop. Actually, do you mind checking, Rex? Because I've already given that negative. That's not going away. If you got a second. If you don't, that's cool. I'll do it later. That's true. If I remove the ring, I'll stop having Torgal in the party at all. That's a great idea.
Sick him, Torgal.
Because
You know what to do, boy. Get him.
it's actually worse when I'm doing it manually.
My wounds, boy. Sick him, Torgal. You know what to do, boy.
Stand fast.
Get him, boy. You know what to do, boy.
That makes no sense. Do you mind clarifying, Color to Snow?
There, boy.
You're hurt. Too slow. Measure already. Sick him, Torgal.
But that makes no sense, Pillars of Snow. Why does the accessory even exist? Why do the commands exist
Sick him.
if he's just gonna do it anyways?
Get him, boy.
I thought it was like Mike mentioned, that he just kind of sits there and is worthless unless you actually give him commands, either through the ring or manually, which makes perfect sense. It's like Atreus over in God of War, right? Atreus will certainly do things if you don't tell him anything, but he won't really do much. You have to command him for him to do stuff. Yeah, I was gonna say, my left hand is constantly busy here, because that's this thing. I don't know.
Not this time. You know what to do, boy. There, boy.
So about that health thing. can't complain about having more kit. Only about the audio spare. That's a good question. I don't see that. I'm not sure.
Damn, boy!
I could check, but I'd rather die, so.
Get him! Not this time. You know what to do, boy. Sick of Torgal. There, boy!
It makes even less sense, but there's no.
Over here. Too slow. You know what to do, boy. Sick of Torgal. There, boy! Are you all right?
Fine.
The inner sanctum lies just beyond. Chances are the palace guard knows we're here. We should move. Not that any sane commander would send his men into a place awash with this much ether. Clive. If this all works, and the blessing fades, things are likely to get worse for our kind before they get better. Being the last to wield ether will make our talents that much more sought after. By which I mean hunted. I just hope, in the end, they'll see that we didn't have any other choice. That it was the only way to get us to a better place.
And here I was thinking I was the uncertain one. Luckily, 2 out of 3 of us have faith in you.
Then it all starts here. Time to earn that menacing title. Sid the Vicious, was it?
Yeah, meanwhile, Jill's not even there, apparently. Alright, well, let's turn this dumb thing off then, I suppose. Yeah, Jill is very much a non-character so far. She's not as bad as Pinello, but same category, you know.
We're almost there. Anyone
No, she-
having second thoughts?
Not me.
We're
She
with
can't-
you to the end, Sid.
Then what are we waiting for?
She can't be Vaughn because she doesn't talk all that much. Oh, she's totally our love interest. You can tell because she's our step-sister. See, we were raised like siblings, but it's okay. There's no blood. They said it, not me. Don't look at me like that. Here. Feel. Kill.
It's beautiful.
The heart of Sambrak.
Interesting.
Well, that didn't work. I think we're gonna need a bigger sword.
Mine's bigger.
Thank you, Clive, but I meant that figuratively. The core's clearly made of sterner stuff. Taya's going to have a fit when she hears about this. Stand back. It's about to get cramped in here. That's more like it.
What happens to the ether that made up that part of the crystal, I wonder?
Clive, look.
What is that? Sid! Ifrit, I need Ifrit.
Interesting.
Come to me. I can't do this without you. Not again. Where are you?
Jill, you want to do something? Or are you just watching this happen? Nope, she's just watching. Torgal's got her back, though.
Where the hell am I?
You're in hell, sorry.
I've been here before. You again. Where are you? What do you want? Fuck. It's still alive.
Can't anything just stay dead in this freaking setting? I'm expecting to see Benedicta show up again. Okay. Hi. a big fan of Fate. I've played FF13.
Get out of my head! I don't answer to you. I'm leaving, one way or another.
Just in the middle of the fight, the Goron walks out. Why'd you do it? That's still the best meme this year. That better win best meme for the LGA later this year. Yeah, this is Typhon. Okay.
By the flames.
Oh, gee. Oh, they hurt. Oh, they stagger, too.
Better already. What else can he do?
This is after being impaled. That went exactly how I wanted it to. I just want to say that. Typhon, whatever you are. Just die, or please don't attack me with Ramu's staff. Ugh.
That power isn't yours.
I mean, he does look like a Dark Souls boss. Oh no, what is this?
But this is mine.
Live, this is not the time for a migraine. Blue-eyed. That... Yeah, thank you. Okay, This is more what I wanted from the Garuda fight. To answer your earlier comment, Rax. Yeah, no, this is a lot better than what was going on last time. But, yeah, that's great. That's true, Polystone. And I'm not going to ding it, I'm just going to not give it a positive, because it wasn't an interesting fight. What's interesting is there's this really weird delay. I know you probably can't even see it, since I'm the one on the controller. The attacks are functionally the same as what I've already been using. The timing is completely different. Yeah, the delay. There's this weird delay. It's hard to even explain. Yeah, there's this wind-up. Like, we're the Dark Souls boss. And it's completely changing a lot of the inputs. Yeah, the boss is slow to compensate for it, but it's throwing me because I'm trying to do stuff that I'm not actually capable of doing, which is my fault, of course. I need to compensate for my weight. Like there. That's probably one of the better dodges I've done so far because I was actually ready for it that time. We also have incredible reach. Did you catch that? Look at how far our reach is. Look at that. Phase 13.
It's done.
No, I caught that too, Rex.
How many more could there be?
I'm guessing our ancients are actually aliens this particular time around. Not the first time they've done that.
Oh, fuck.
I caught that too. So. Yeah, FF9 was aliens, and well, I guess I shouldn't spoil, but yeah, there are several FFs where it's been aliens. What? Yeah, I figured this was coming. We had the tutorial of the Ifrit. Now we have to fight this nonsense.
As you wish.
I gotta heal? That's interesting. Okay, this is pathetic, but this is the first song that's really worked for me. Or, sorry, second. Second song that's really worked in this game. I bet you can guess the first before I even tell you. wasn't away, actually. It's, God. When we were fighting Darklife. Dunked on. I actually noticed pretty early on color distinction and started using that instead of the actual button prompt. Then I screwed it up once and started getting more cautious. So, do we now get gravity powers? Teleport powers? Thank you, Torgal, for being my stalwart companion.
Clive.
Jill, you're useless.
Well, enjoy your nap.
You're wounded.
This, it's only a scratch. All right, the hole.
We'll find you a healer.
Here. No, you won't. I know who you are. And if you think I'm gonna let you have him... think again.
You're kidding. Well, I guess it was Sid, not Jill.
Sid.
One left. That'll do me.
Try not to talk.
Clive. For so long, I thought I had all the answers. But then I met you. And I learned it wasn't a good death we should be fighting for, but a better life. It's all very well, a man reclaiming his fate. But if he can't choose how he meets it, what's the point? So, I made a choice.
So we actually get thunder now.
Don't do this!
The rest is in your hands. The crystal's blessing is a prison, Clive. And if it's an outlaw the world needs to help it break free.
Stop. Please.
I can think of none better than you.
In ashen grip, let ember glow, to kindle...
Where the hell have you been? Here, quick, get Sid up. Could you res Sid, please? No, he's not a fighter. He's a healer. Go please res Sid. Please? Please? You have Kiraga! Help us out, man!
I'm sorry, Clive. Had I arrived but a moment sooner. Do you remember me, boy? I saw you protect them That was very brave. I know you're there, Ultima.
You have learned our name. What else have you learned, Phoenix?
So anyways, this is Ultima. Ultima is the villain of this game. For some reason.
My travels have revealed much about you and your ambitions. I know that it was you who tore me from my brother. And I know that it is his power that you seek. But know this. If you want him, you'll have to go through me.
Very well.
Breath of mine ancestors, fill these lungs that I may dispel the songs of suffering.
A disturbance.
Will leave my brother alone.
Okay, nice Fryraga.
This is getting us nowhere.
We agree. No more games, Phoenix. We have come to claim our vessel.
And I said no.
Yeah, I'll give you that one, Joshua.
These flames are nothing. You will know what it is to burn.
Yours is a fleeting form. I'm not fool enough to think I can harm you. But to protect my brother, I don't have to.
Oh, the voice acting's legit. The only game I've seen with better voice acting than this is FS7 or 1.
These are not flames of destruction.
Have you forgotten already who I am?
God of War isn't a Final Fantasy game last I checked, it says. Well, that sucks.
Just try and get to my brother now. Fiend.
And we're dead. Alright, so next game on the list is so that's a nationwide panic. Meanwhile... Oh, Hugo has finally decided to re-enter the narrative. Again. You know, I called this jokingly.
You hurt me!
I'm actually upset that I was right.
He must be here. Must! Can fail Lord Kuka again! Find Sid! are all fucking dead!
I swear to God, you do not get to kill Gav.
You'll do! Bastard!
War. Check XC.
Gab! We've got to go! Not without this!
Sid is not among the dead. Shall I send a Stolas?
That won't be necessary.
I just realized we got Ramu before we got Titan.
Where the hell are you, Sid? Where the hell are you?
We still aren't going to get Royal Guard for like 10 more hours.
The finest silks from the master weavers of Randalar. Come, come, feel its softness.
Chocobo
Make a nice
steaks,
gift for your
chocobo
wife.
sausage, all from greens-fed farm birds. None of the old courses you'll find elsewhere. Here, take a bite.
Wait, do the Dragon Age 2 comparisons continue? Have we had a second time skip?
Curatives, restoratives,
Look all you like, birds. It's all fresh. Picked this very morning.
restoratives, unguents, ointments, poultices, harmatives, curatives, restoratives, unguents, ointments, poultices. Might I interest you in a potion, milady? Perhaps a soothing salve to ease the aches of the road?
I haven't seen a time yet. I might have missed it. Don't tell me. Or tell me, sure.
I wish you well, but may the mothers guide you. Calmatives, curatives, restoratives, unguents, ointments, poultices, calmatives, curatives, restoratives.
Fine dwarven crap. There it is, 5 years later. Yeah, no, Dragon Age 2 handled its time skips terribly. That's the problem. The problem wasn't the time skips. The problem was 5 years later, tomorrow. So, yep.
What have we learned?
This is actually something that's very, very minor that was spoiled for me, which I wouldn't even consider a spoiler. For the first time, we're playing as a Cid.
The bearers are locked up in an old courthouse on the edge of town. And I hardly need tell you who is there to make sure they stay that way.
Kupka's private guard.
It's a trap. And not a very good one at that.
Another? What does he hope to gain from this?
I'll have the captives free before nightfall.
You do nothing of the sort. Our comrades didn't give their lives for you to get your throat slit in a god's-forsaken slum.
So those in the courthouse should be left to suffer.
That's not what I said. I simply meant it doesn't have to be you who frees them. Damn it all. You're as stubborn as the old Cid was.
But yeah, it's the Dread Pirate Roberts, exactly. I honestly called that almost immediately, regardless.
Just don't say I didn't warn you. You're Cid now, and if anything happens to him, we're finished.
I mean, Cyan's in his 60s. Strago is even older. Both from 6, actually. Steiner is weirdly old in 9. I forget how old, but it always weirds me out how old he is.
Please, we don't know anything. You have to believe us. We'd help you if we could.
33. Thank you.
Helping us already.
Forgive him, my lord. He did not mean to offend.
Quiet, you!
No sign of Hugo.
I'll wager he thinks as highly of his minions' traps as we do.
Then this should be easy.
Don't hurt us. I beg of you.
Quiet means quiet, branded scum.
Hi. I'm here to spring the trap. If it makes you feel any better, Rex, I am older than the oldest FF Pro Tech.
Be all right. I'm here to even the odds. Any objections?
It's him!
And of course he uses lightning, because, you know, duh. Sid. Hello, go.
Come on!
No. You're with me. You can run. Like, I'll let you run. I'm not interested in killing it, really.
The bearers?
Safe.
Cool. So let's try out lightning. So, what's interesting about this is us taking over as Sid, gameplay-wise, is a great way to tutorialize into the lightning powers. I would probably have this entire mission be us locked into Ramu, and just really let us play around with it. If you remember, they did the same thing with Garuda. As soon as we got Garuda, there was a bunch of troops on the road, including several things, which had a lot of health, but not much in the way of stagger bars. And Garuda is all about staggering, so, again, uniquely designed to be crushed by Garuda. So, Ramu changes our aspect, but allows access to new things, such as Thunderstorm, which is a knockback. We also have... I can't remember what it's called. Shotlock. Okay, so hang on. That's R? Yep, okay.
Sid dies here!
Alright, there we go. And we actually slow time while doing it, which is something I was worried about. And we can trigger it whenever we want to. Sid's a title. Again, Dread Pirate Roberts, if you're familiar with the reference.
Outlaws in here! Bring me his head!
So far, I'd say he's, at the very least, tied for my favorite, Mr. Red.
Titan sends his regards.
I like that we can choose when it goes off. That's nice.
Enough of this! Let him play with the kitten!
What?
They brought a pet.
Are you gonna pronounce it? He's never pronounced Coral.
You'll pay for what you've done, Sid.
Those things are fast.
We'll have to be fast.
Hasn't it been 5 years since we did whatever it is you're mad at us about? So that answers that other question. The other question too. Get rid of that stagger bar there. I don't actually get iframes from that. So, you can run.
To hell with this!
They'll tell Hugo.
Let them. There's been more than enough bloodshed for one day.
Murderer. All of our friends are dead because of you. Do you hear me? They used us as bait. Bait to lure you out of your stinking hole, all because you couldn't just let things be.
That right there is why things tend to stay bad. Even when things are bad, you know, it could be worse. Don't stir the pot. Keep your head down. I suddenly realize I'm just describing Andor again.
What are you even doing here? We never asked to be saved. Did you think we'd thank you? They'll never forgive us. We're all marked now.
For 5 years we fought to secure a better life for our kind. To see that we are treated as equals. Do you not want that?
What we want is to be left alone. Every time you show your faces, it is we who suffer.
It's all right. I'm sorry.
That's it. Go home. That's all you're getting out of me.
Just leave us be. This is our home, and this is where we'll stay.
Sid told us this wouldn't be easy. They'll come round.
If you say so.
We should go.
Yeah, Bear-her reached old age. He probably hasn't been asked to cast at all. Anyway, so life sucks. Still. Even though it's been 5 years. Boundaries haven't changed much. I feel like something's missing, though. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. Yeah, I was just looking around. He went out for a pack of smokes, everyone. It's fine. It's fine.
That night 5 years ago, we destroyed what for many was a symbol of hope. For a reason they'll never know. We cannot blame them for thinking us the cause of their misery. Though it's to give them a better tomorrow, they see only that we've made their lives harder today. Yet the boil must be lanced if it is to heal.
I can't help but wonder if we've made the right choice.
When Sid said that he wanted to create a world where we were free. Free to choose our own path. I honestly don't think it mattered to him if that choice was right or wrong. Only that it was our own.
I miss him.
A world where we can live and die as equals. That's what he wanted. What we want. And that's why I bear his name. It's why we've all chosen to bear his legacy. And I'm not going to let anything stand in our way.
Ride's over, lovebirds. Home sweet home.
Yeah, this scene is extremely unnecessary. Nothing they said is something we didn't already know and couldn't divine. So the Hideaway 2.0, inside a fallen airship in the middle of a lake.
Otto was asking after you. Let's go and see him.
Never a dull moment.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, the joke there is that Sid now has his home base in an airship. Yeah, still in the Deadlands. It's a big space.
Welcome back, Sid.
But that means that water should be, well, non-drinkable. Which means, and this would be kind of cool if they lean into this, they probably have to import water on a lake. That's just a uniquely horrible situation.
Otto will want to know what happened in Costness. I expect he'll be in the mess.
Look, it's Sid.
Staying long this time?
Sid?
Clive, is everything all right?
Sure, other than the fact that everyone ever been known is dead. Except for Gav and Tarya, I think. His name's Lucan.
Shelves are closed. Sign outside should have told you. Yeah, the sign outside should have told you.
But there's no sign.
Yeah, of all people, the bard lived.
Have we any...
I don't know.
Welcome back, Sid.
How much money do I have right now?
You're not leaving.
$42,000.
Ready, are you?
I'll be back. Charon lived.
Well, don't just stand there gawping.
How did you live? Hey, what's happened the last 5 years? I feel like I missed a few steps. This isn't even voiced.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
Oh, never mind. No, it isn't voiced. What? What? I'm sorry, that's a very strange thing to be weirded out by, but the whole game has been voiced. Even side quests, even little NPC interactions. Huh? Yeah, what? Anyways, we were all waiting to treat Sid to a hero's welcome when Kupka's lot showed up. Not that we knew it was them, they just poured in like a plague of rats, cutting down anyone and anything that stood in their way. Blood and bodies everywhere, a voice crawling out for Sid to save us in the midst of it all. I never forget those cries, try as I might.
You're our leader now, Clive.
Promise you won't let anything like that happen again? No. Promise you that promise me that come what may, Sid will save us. No, because you're all dead again. Probably.
Well, you won't hear me complaining.
It's even roomier than the old one was. Got my own stores, got my own counter, and thanks to you, the fighting the good fight, plenty of demand for my wares.
The drawback
is what? What's the drawback, Charon? Why don't you tell me what the only drawback is? The constant bloody racket. If it's not Doris and Otto barking orders, it's Blackthorn and Bardolph banging away day and night.
Still.
If a pain in the ear hole is the price I have to pay for Sid, the outlaw's partner in crime, I got myself a bargain.
Going purse weighing you down?
Interesting.
Is that all?
Still, end statement.
Clive, you're back. You didn't happen to run out of potions while you're away, did you? We've a fine selection of tonics and tinctures. Perhaps you'd be interested in some new accoutrements,
I believe. I could be wrong about that, though.
What'd you need?
Tell me about the last 5 years.
You've forgotten already?
Yes.
Because I haven't.
Are you gonna elaborate any? It's a royal pain in the arse getting this place into shape, especially the mess we were in. Not that there's anything new for those who put the old hideaway together. Still what? Still what? Blackthorn, tell me! Still what?
Things here ain't too bad.
I suppose. I've got a decent hammer, a decent anvil, an apprentice that knows his hammer from his cock. And the furnace is alright and all, thanks to old Sid's bellows. The gods only know how I'd keep the coals hot enough for here on them. Oh my god. Sorry, I just had a random thought. Because we're gonna meet Sid's daughter, right? Anyways. I reckon you won't find a forge like this one anywhere else on the Twins, and I count myself lucky to work on it. Thanks for keeping me on. You need anything, give us a shout.
What do you want?
I want the 11 bolt.
Not bad, if I do say so myself. And?
And? Pillar says no, and? Because she's gonna be named Mid. Of course she's gonna be named Mid, right?
Look, Sid. Squeaks wants to meet you. I can't keep him, can I? Can't I?
This plank will have to be replaced.
Nearly half the crates were lost to bandits.
But half weren't, and their contents will see us through the season.
How did rats get onto this ship?
Where did I put that sack of lime? Sack of lime.
That they bloomed at all is a blessing in itself.
You know, the water's death. Here's our garden, where we grow our food. Now, this is straight up water world. Again, I don't want to dig too much in the world building since the game doesn't seem to want to, but I find the idea fascinating. What would happen if you did a mass import of healthy soil, land, plants, water, etc. into the Deadland, into any of the dead territories? Because there's a lot of possible things that could happen there, and like, I don't know. There's possibilities there, but it depends on what exactly they're going with. So I want to keep that. I don't want to keep all these things, actually. I kind of like this current setup. But yeah, let's find Rama here. Yeah, plenty of room for that to expand. How the hell can we still have 5 different power things to get? Alright, whatever. Big ass shot to single targets. That's our boss tracker there. I mean, I've been using both of these. But yes, Thunderstorm, I have already gotten good use out of Thunderstorm. It's a great follow-up after something's been staggered, too. Third one is Lightning Rod. Creates a ball of lightning that, upon being struck, chains lightning to other nearby enemies. And which one's Will? Ah, Will-o'-the-Wisps. Or, excuse me, Will-o'-the-Wicks. Well, we can unlock it. Let's try it. We can upgrade it. Let's try it. We can't upgrade it anymore. Still gonna try it. Let's try that. Actually, no, that feels wrong. There we go. Let's try that. Now, let's pull some of those back. And then put... not quite. I don't have many points spent right now. I do have Flames Rebirth. Let's just lose Flames Rebirth. Screw it. There. So there's a more or less maxed will. Yeah, but I'm never going to use these abilities, Bills of Snow. I've actually already done that. And it's like, eh. But you know what? Make you feel better. I will waste some points on them. There you go. So that's still Y, and that's still Y. What was I doing? There's our water supply. Yeah, once again, I find myself wondering, Rax, because you'd think magic doesn't have to be physically connected to blight, right? But they can grow soil on blighted, well, like a few feet from blighted water.
Good day to you, Sid.
Charlie says I can't go and play until I finish my sums.
Well, then hurry up and finish them. We need 3 for curling geese.
Ah, Sid. We were just about to start our next lesson. You're welcome to join us, but be warned, I tolerate absolutely no tomfoolery.
Crap.
Can't catch a wink with all the clamour in the hall. The atrium's quiet this time of day.
No one works longer or harder than our Otto. You can scour the whole of Storm and Ash, and you won't find a better man.
Lady Tyre is performing a delicate operation and must not be disturbed. I'll let her know you called.
Oh, hey. You wonder what this new board is about me, are you? Yeah, all good time, my fearless friend. All good time.
Ah, there you are, Clive. Word of your adventures arrived this morning. Victor sent his thanks.
I doubt Kupka will miss the fools he sent to catch me. And not a single one of the bearers we saved showed any interest in coming with us. No one seems keen to join hands with an outlaw. Any news while we were away?
None worth mentioning. Gav's still off keeping an eye on the Republican army. Should be back any day now.
Understood. If anyone needs me, I'll be in the map room.
Still can't work that one out. There must be better places than the hull of a gutted airship to bury your nose in a book.
Yet this is where she's chosen to be. And I'm sure she has her reasons. I trust I'm not intruding.
Back from your mission? I'm beginning to think your habit of surviving cannot be attributed to luck alone.
Okay, so you're some kind of financial wealthy patron contact we have the outside world. Your dress alone gives that away.
One might say the same of you, Vivian Ninetails.
I'll have you know that only 4 attempts have been made on my life, and none was especially memorable. So, to what do I owe the honor? Could it be that you've come for one of my lessons?
Is that so hard to believe?
Very well, then. Shall we start with the state of the realm?
Wait.
To absolutely no one's surprise, she finds herself at the mercy of armies and outlaws.
Are we about to get a here's what's been happening the last 5 years exposition dump?
Well, mostly armies. Though that's not for want of trying, is it, Clive? But the real question is, how did we get here? Long though Sambrek's dominion over northeastern Storm has endured, recent days have seen the Blight wrest ever more land from her grasp. For which reason she has continued to wage war on her rival across the strait, hoping to claim less blackened pastures. But Odin would sooner pawn his sword than Waloed relinquish Ash.
Hold up. I love a good, map war political thing as much as the next person, but why is this here? Why is this the point in time? 20, billion year, I forget how many, hang on, it was 21, what's that, so we're up to 27, so we're currently at 29.5 hours into the game. And now is when you're doing this after a 5-year time. Okay, I think we can officially give a negative for the 5-year time skip. I am weirded out by it in general. A time skip is natural, almost mandatory, I would say. If nothing else, we needed to show there needs to be time for us to move to our new hideaway. Sure, with that, no problem. 5 years? Yeah, I was going to say, we've literally already seen these two nations fighting before. In person, so to speak. 5,000 years later. All right, so as you know. Yeah, we've moved hideaways, and that's all I've seen that's changed so far. Now, I'm not saying there's anything else. I'm just saying that's what we've got at the moment. Sorry, I'm double checking something here. We do look even manlier. And we know the only way you can make someone look manly is by having 5 years pass. Okay, I'm done.
And the Empire pays dearly for every blade of grass bent beneath Sambrequois boots. Little wonder then that Sylvester set his sights on the crystalline dominion, an altogether easier target, possessed of no less ether. It was 5 years ago.
Really?
While you were busying yourself with the destruction of Drake's head, that the Empire made its move, subjugating its theretofore neutral neighbor. A nation which could legitimately claim to be the center of the world. Certainly, there is no better place to stage an army. From there, the Holy Empire's reach spans the Twins. The non-aggression treaty was the only thing keeping them in check. But if they truly broke the pact without provocation, it is only a matter of time before others reply in kind. The Holy Empire, the Dhalmekian Republic, the Kingdom of Waloed, and of course, our friends in Yaran. Who will be left standing, I wonder, when the last drop of blood is spilled?
This is their triangle strategy.
You were born in Twinside. Do you not fear for your home?
Oh, dark clouds are wont to gather over the Dominion. Yet in spite of it all, she has ever endured. And when the storm has passed, I am confident she will remain. Now, as to the matter of payment for today's lesson, complete a simple errand for me and we shall consider ourselves even.
Even? Right.
Return this volume to old tomes in the shelves. Tell him it was, adequate.
I suppose it wouldn't hurt to visit our resident historian.
And how may I assist you today? One would think.
One would think what? Man, maybe Arspers. This is strange decision making. Most of the stuff they've done up to this point in time has at least made sense, even if I don't agree with it. A lot of the decisions around this time skip are baffling to me. Anyways, one would think my role was abundantly clear by now. I offer you and yours the guiding light of knowledge, that of matters military and political, both past and present, that I might illuminate your way ahead. For it is only by my understanding that has come before that one. It is only by understanding what has come before that one might steer one's way towards a brighter future. Your role, meanwhile, is to ensure I remain furnished with as much information on the state of the realm as your people can muster, in order that I might continue to appraise the dispositions of the greater nations and who rule them. And of course, to pay attention during my lectures. It would not do well to appoint the storied Ninetales as your tutor, only to disregard her expert advice.
I admit.
You admit what? Tell me! Oh God! I admit when I took up my professor's bonnet and began teaching at the University of Canberra, I did not think for a moment I would one day count Sid the Outlaw among my pupils. Nor did I imagine my fellow educators would have the designs on my life. We both know how that ended. Has it been a year already? Yes! 1 year. Such is the peril of an overly inquisitive mind, I suppose. One is wont to uncover that which others would go to great lengths to ensure remained hidden. Were it not for you and our mutual friend having come to my rescue, my curiosity would have proved... Oh, that makes so much sense, Rex. I'll talk about that in a second. Instead, I was not only saved, but granted a new lease on life, as a personal tutor to a band of outlaws, no less.
A far more reputable fellowship.
Than anything in the academic world, I assure you.
My beloved homeland.
The crossroads of Valisthea, one only has to stroll the street to hear news from every far-flung corner of the realm. Its mother crystal yields more shards than any other, and its lands even now remain untouched by the blight. It is a blessed country indeed.
Or at least, it was.
Until the Sanbrequi elected to invade and establish a new holy capital upon Twinside's heretofore neutral shores. It pains me to see the land I loved so changed, and even more to know that I did not predict it. I knew the Emperor Idiot had designs on the Dominion, but to abandon Oriflame, the seat of the Holy Empire since its inception, seemed too audacious a move even for him.
I do wish our lawsman would consider acquiring some more contemporary volumes. I tire of the classics. Here for another of my lectures?
By speaking with Vivian, you can...
Here you are.
There's the Knight of the Flames. Yep. There's the Imperial Army. The invasion of Phoenix Gate. There's Phoenix Gate itself. Yep, Knight of Flames. That's us, of course. This is when Sam Breck steals the stuff, claims Rosaria, and makes it Imperial Providence. And the Boiling Crusade happens. Boy, that's a fun name. This is when the game started. This is actually kind of cool. Yeah, there's us going to Caer Norvent. There's us going from Caer Norvent. That's after we primed the first time. King's Fall, Duchy, Eastpool. Yeah, the Eastpool is wiped off the map by troops from Rosalith. Still haven't seen her, by the way. You notice that? Not that that's really a complaint. Fall of Drake's Head, Empire's New Dominion, Clouds Over Storm. Apparently, the Dhalmekians are currently in pursuit of, us. Interesting. This is a cool feature that it's weird that they're adding into the game. 20... What did we come up with? 27 hours in. Whatever. The Ni no Kuni comparisons continue to be a thing. Ah. Yeah, how else are you going to keep up with the time skips? We've got to keep doing them. You don't understand. I mean, by my own reckoning, this is Act 4 now. Of 5. We'll see if I'm right about that. Oh, that's true. Sid was the one who got this stuff before, not us. And there's going to be 3 more time skips. One of them's 1,000 years. Nothing happens in the meantime, by the way.
I have the details here.
Interesting. So we've got obvious hatred. Bonds of fellowship. And that appears to be it. That's a good question. Oh, sorry. Marriage. So we got a marriage symbol. So, I was thinking about that. It would be interesting to me if they spent, time, money, effort, budget, etc. on the first half of the game. What we have already done, effectively. And then we hit this point, and then we know that there's 2 separate things. Damn it, Bregman. 2 separate things that are that were happening at Square during the, let's call it the later years of development of this game, because it came out last year, right? So what was happening between, say, 2020 and 2023, give or take? There's actually another thing other than COVID. Because the other thing was Square's been in a weird place. For those of you who don't follow financials as much as I do, Square has actually only barely been holding on as a company in terms of their overall debt and their throughput. And, fun fact, the specific thing that's keeping Square going is FF14. A lot of that boils down to some interesting decisions, let's call it mismanagement, about where they're spending their money and when. So yeah, what probably happened is they probably got capped on budget. And Yoshi P is a talented director, so he probably looked at the situation and said, okay, let's focus on what we can, right? Men are defined by their breeding. My husband, for better or worse. An unrefined boor, my beloved son, a failure, a flea-bitten mongrel, and an ungrateful wench. Forgive me, my darling boy. What in the crap? Bearers were ever a stain on our fair nation. Interesting. Probably Miranda. The thing is, and I've actually talked about this before, Square has never really had good management. They've stumbled by because they've had creative talent on their side, but, like, yeah. No.
Here's the latest information I have.
No, how do I, there we go. The Empire will live on. Show them your strength, Muhammad. Not but a quibbling malcontent. Oh, the High Cardinals. Okay. It's time we expanded our dominion. He's not even here. Now we shall become one, not but an inconvenience, disobedient child. So your will should be done to Barnabas. He calls Hugo a fool. She calls Hugo a fool. How can he claim to rule a country when he cannot even control his minions? He likes the sound of his own voice. He's skilled with the blade, less so with people. A traitorous snake. He has a little fight in him for a bearer. There's a well-trained dog. Who's this? Ah. Here's a man who knows to keep his mouth shut. Sid is also the man who turned his back on his duty. This is just some local rustic. He took Garuda. Freaking dog. Don't you dare pity me. He'll abandon me like all the rest. You swore to protect me. And then she died. Interesting. Yeah, one more. All I want to do is help. More than just a trader. Does most of the heavy lifting. Finest hammer in the twins. Best healer in the belt. And the walking library. The best and worst decision I ever made. Another victim of the icons. Had enough of me, have you? Not a bad find. He drives a hard bargain. He knows one end of the sword from the other. He's got a nose like no other. The chains that bind you are of your own making. His dreams are twisted and his promises are false to, I've already forgotten his name. That guy. Barnabas. Might as well make yourself useful, huh? May you find peace this world denied you. Who the bloody hell is he? You need to know the truth. You might have just saved the lad's... You might have just saved that lad's life. Yeah. Gav. Yeah. Your life is your own now. With your help, this plan might work. Don't mind us, eh? Fascinating. Yeah, Torgal goes from fine puppy to fine... Or, sorry. Puppy to fine hound. What's this called? The Grand Cast. I'm gonna have to chew on that. I'm pretty sure FF16 made money. What I don't know is if it made enough money. There's a lot of overhead that they need to deal with for this kind of crap.
Very good.
I learned something new. You'll be the first to know. Now off you go.
I'm not furless. I've got fur on my head. A little bit.
Charlie says I can't go and play until I finish my sums.
Well, then hurry up and finish them. We need 3 for curling geese.
Okay, so it is curl, not coral, which is what I usually say. Or coral, which I've heard before, but curl. I'll have to try to remember that. Do I think they'll do another FFMMO?
This plank will have to be replaced.
If they have a brain, they will not. At least not within the next... 2 years, I'd say. This is almost perfectly the wrong time to go into making a new MMO for anybody, but let alone for Square. I said it before, Square is actually not doing that great financially. Now, granted, most companies aren't. But... yeah, a game meeting expectation, we can all make fun of that. And we should, because they're stupid. But it doesn't mean a game actually didn't bring in net profit. It just means that they were wanting something out of it they didn't get. And when it comes to corporations, what they want out of it is usually unreasonable.
Oh, Tome said the hideaway is built inside an airship. Said it was called the Invincible.
Oh, and sorry, to clarify my statement slightly. Square's not doing great. FF14 just started a hard reboot, and if they were going to make an FF14 2, an FF17, if you will, that would have been the time. Do it instead of Dawn Trail. And the time to start that spooled up would have been several years ago, which would have been in the aforementioned dark times of development I just talked about. So that's already a bad reason to go ahead and start up another FF14. But there's actually an even bigger reason. And there's no nice way to say this, but the reason is wow. Dragonflight was a hell of a return to form for WoW. Not just in terms of quality, but in terms of player base. For those of you who don't follow the MMO space, most players only play one MMO consistently. And so most people who are in the MMO market, they've got their MMO, and occasionally they'll have a second on the side, but there's the one big one, and that's the one they play. Now, back during BFA, and especially during Shadowlands, there was something called the WoW Colossal Screw-Up. Now, the catastrophe meant a lot of players, several million players, fled from WoW and rushed off to all kinds of other different MMOs. Some MMOs, yeah, there was the Great WoW migration. This is a real thing. This actually happened. And a lot of them went off to other... Yeah, it actually was millions, Mr. Road. We've seen the numbers now. We saw the numbers at the last... the German one. I can never think of the name of it. The German gaming convention. So, yeah, that was a thing. And a lot of those players went off to Elder Scrolls Online. Some of them went to Guild Wars 2. Some of them went to Final Fantasy 14. And I don't remember the full list. But those are the three big ones that took a lot of people away from WoW's player base. And you're probably thinking, okay, well, that's a good thing, right? Yeah, BFA and Shadowlands was years ago. And there's no nice way to put this. Most of those MMOs didn't retain those people. A lot of those people came back to WoW in Dragonflight. So, yeah, that window has effectively been closed. Trying to get into the market now is a terrible idea, especially since War Within has also been retaining the same general quality. Yeah, we're not even in Dragonflight anymore. We're on the next expansion, which has stuck the landing and is continuing to be good. So it's just like... So, they're not in a good shape to make a new game, and the market's not in a good place to level having a new MMO there.
Lawsman Harpocrates.
Now that is a name I have not heard for a long time. So long, in fact, I had half forgotten it was mine. Welcome home, Clive. You were missed, as always.
I believe this belongs to you. Vivian asked me to return it.
As of this exact moment in time, Dream Whisperer, the WoW run will conclude with the beginning of War Within. If War Within gets funded during the run, it will conclude at the end of the vanilla content.
Ready? Our resident scholar devours books faster than young Tet does lemon tarts. Would that I could do the same, but alas, I no longer possess the necessary constitution for such indulgence, either in words or tarts. That said, I have continued my search for mention of the creature you encountered at Drake's Head, but without access to the great libraries of Oriflamme or the Dominion, I regret that I have been able to find little and less. I am sorry.
Please, don't apologize. I'll send word to our associates. See if they can't furnish you with more books.
I fear it is not more books that I require, but the right ones. Mayhap we look in the wrong places. There are still libraries to the north.
I'll see what I can do.
You're looking at her, Ross.
Too kind. There are not many in this world who would indulge the whims of a tired old historian.
Not too tired to go filching Kupo nuts, though. Always got a pocket for him. Nicks him off the Moogle.
Hush now. We all know there's no such thing as Moogles.
The twins seem well.
Aye. Yet they laugh far too little for one so young. The loss of their parents weighs heavy on them, however well they hide it. Titan took much from us that night, from some more than others, and the wounds that remain, they are not quick to heal.
Which is why we must give them all the time they need.
That we must. Just as I must give you the time you need to recuperate. Good day, Clive.
Good day. Gav will be back soon. I should get some rest while I can.
Well, good to know that Gav lived. I was gonna be frickin' pissed. Also, lol, we went from one fallen ruin to another in terms of our hideouts. I feel like there's some kind of symbolism going on there.
Not back a blink and you're already off solving everyone's problems. It looks good, Clive. Goes well with the scowl.
I'd had that brand for so long. I'd forgotten what life was like without it. What it was like to be myself. And it's all thanks to you, Talia.
The scalpel did most of the work. Ah, before I forget, a rider was here with a letter from Gav. Otto left it on your desk.
Not a stole us. All right, I'll have a look.
And then you get some rest.
What could Gav have thought worthy of a letter?
Letter? For me.
Otto was here earlier with a letter from Gav. He left it on your desk.
This is new. Have fun, Evo. Or else. Passable. There hasn't been a lot of it, Ross, so I haven't really been too bothered by it. Now there's missives. Has the game just started? Am I in hell? Is that what this is? The Republican army marches on the Empire Twin side of the Men of Rock and been summoned to the front. Something big is brewing, I reckon. I'll see you're done to wear upon my return.
What does Gav have to say?
The Republican army is on the march, leaving Randalar in Hugo Kupka's charge. With him and his men occupied with the defense of the capital, they're less likely to trouble us.
Good news, then.
Yeah, can we go kill Hugo?
It's more than that. This is our chance.
Is that a yes?
The one we've been waiting for.
But look how far we've come. All that we have here, our friends, the hideaway, are they not cause for joy?
5 years. 5 long years.
Please stop hammering it in. I've already given you the negative.
If I could only command this power I've been granted, we might have achieved so much more. But each time...
I'm sorry, you have spent 5 years failing to use... Okay.
When I reach for it, it's like something is holding me back.
Summoning an icon exacts a price not easily paid. Your body knows this only too well. It's merely trying to save you from yourself.
And every burden I cannot bear falls to you.
This mission of ours has made me question everything I thought I knew. But one thing has become abundantly clear. The crystals take more than they give. In exchange for momentary comfort, we must endure a lifetime of pain, war after war, loss upon loss. And now they rob us of our very homes, leaving naught but dust and ash. But you're trying to change that. We're trying to change that.
For 5 years. Sorry.
That's no burden.
I'm just happy Jill actually has some lines of dialogue. This is crazy.
I know, but...
Try not to forget. We're only here because Joshua gave us a second chance. It would be a pity to waste such a precious gift.
Oh yeah, Joshua's totally dead again, by the way. Wink.
He did. He was there. It wasn't an illusion. I heard him call out to Ultima.
Honestly, we're reaching 30 at this point, Evo, but yes.
If Joshua is still alive, he'll be looking for that thing.
Do you think he will ever come back?
Yes.
I know he will. And we must be ready when he does.
What Jill hate? She just wasn't a character in the first 30 hours of the game. That's not hate. That's, why is she standing there saying and doing nothing?
To a world without mother crystals.
Oh my god, it is the beginning of the game! I'm in hell! I'm in hell! Yeah, it's Penello. It's Penello all over again. Meanwhile...
And so the North is lost.
I knew that the Blight spread ever more swiftly, Your Grace. But this is far, far worse than any could have imagined.
It is only a matter of time before the twins are no more. The world marches ever closer to its end, and here we chase shadows. Tell me, brother, are our efforts in vain?
No, this is an FF game. We'll get there. At some point.
Master Clive, a moment, if you... my apologies, I didn't mean to... intrude.
Not at all. We were just discussing strategy.
Speak freely, Otto.
It's Martha, from the inn. She's gone missing. Anyway, I'll be in the mess when you've finished.
Very well.
I've had a weird thought for a while. Do not answer this question, but like...
Martha, leave the rest.
When are we going to get Shiva powers? Because we haven't already, and that's fine. But at the same time, narratively, it's kind of weird that we haven't already.
Something has happened to Martha. We need to speak with Otto.
To explain a little bit, the pacing of when we get which powers has been very strange. We had talked about that already. You know, we should have had Titan for a while. We should have gotten Titan before we got Ramo, to be blunt. But we got, you know, we started with Phoenix. We got Ifrit pretty early. We got Garuda fairly quickly. Gerudo, Jesus. And then there was a really big gap of time. Like 15-ish hours of nothing. And then we got Ramu.
What do we know, Otto?
Some lads from the Imperial garrison in Rosaria started a fight over at Martha's Rest. Blood was spilled, bones were broken. The usual. But somewhere in the middle of it all, Martha vanished without a word to anyone. And that ain't like her, Clive. Something's not right.
You think this was planned?
Of course it bloody was. Ever since Eastpool, the Empire's been tightening its grip round the Duchy's balls. They've strung up everyone who's ever set eyes on a runaway, claiming they're traitors to the Holy Throne, conspiring to restore the House of Rosfield to power. And now it sounds like the bastards have turned their attentions to the pallbearers meek enough to stay put. Naturally, old Martha could see the way the wind was blowing, complained that it was getting harder and harder to take bearers in.
And now she's missing. If she's fallen into the hands of the Empire, we could be next.
Couple of curse breakers are already on their way to the inn. They should speed up the search. But if this is as bad as I think it is, you might end up having to save their asses and all.
Don't worry, Otto. I'll make sure everyone gets home safe.
Unkeepable promises. hang on. I would help him, but my magical sensor just went off and told me that there's a side quest. This way? Yes, this way.
Martha is a survivor. We'll find her.
I know, Lord Harrimont. I just haven't updated the website yet at all. That's all that is. Thank you for noticing, though. How would I have moved Titan forward? Hugo has been a complete non-entity for a huge portion of the narrative. In fact, frankly, he still is. Other than the fact that he decided to go knock over our first hideaway. Which, honestly, is a very weird choice. What I probably would have done, if I wanted to keep the same general framework, is move his involvement in, oh my god, we have to kill Sid, much earlier. If you really want to knock over the first hideaway, sure, no problem. Go ahead and knock it over, but knock it over much earlier. And don't knock it over in a way that's, like, completely unrecoverable. Have a mission there, we fight to keep people out. Titan's like, rawr, come fight me. We go out, we fight Titan. Titan's defeated, we gain Titan powers. Cool. Okay, then we have a bit of a transitionary sequence. We end up here in the middle of this lake, on the middle of this airship, which I can't show off here. Yeah, there we go, boom. It's like, okay, well, now that we've got everything set up, what do we do? I've got an idea. Why don't we do this? I've got it. And then, you know, we go and we do the mission where we head up north, and then we find out what's going on with the crystal. We get some bit of exposition on Ultima, the worst villain in the history of the universe. That's an exaggeration. He does remind me a lot of the Jailer, though. And then we go ahead and get Ramu. A little bit more smoother pacing in terms of gameplay, as well as in terms of narrative. And it also means that as of this moment in time, Titan would have actually been removed from the board, which frankly he probably should be.
Damn blighted bilge. Is everything all right?
Aside from the holes in my hull, everything's roses.
The lake water doesn't agree with it, then?
That's one way of putting it. And unless you got some grand scheme to suck the black from the lake like we do in the atrium, that slurry'll keep eating away at the timber like young Tech does our lemon tarts. Suppose a coat of pitch might stave off the rock for a moon or so. Assuming we had any pitch, which we don't. Not any bloody more. Doubt the old tub's got more than a dozen runs left in him.
Of course, Obolus. Your skiff is our only means of reaching the mainland. Without it, we'd be lost.
Well, I'm glad someone round here sees it that way. To make pitch, you need pitch trees. But in case you haven't noticed, live trees are one of the 1,000 things sorely lacking in the Deadlands. Now, I'm not so unkind as to ask you to fell a faraway forest and lug the logs back here to the mere, which is why we'll be needing a suitable alternative. And it just so happens I once heard the thorny pitchers of Curltail Falls cover themselves in a sticky wax to trap birds and beetles and whatnot. Might be enough to tide me over.
Sounds easier than felling a faraway forest. That's for certain.
Oh, and to be clear, after what happened with both Sid and Benedict, it makes perfect sense why we haven't gone after Shiva yet. But I guess that's an explanation after the fact, if that makes any sense. The reason that that situation exists is specifically because the writers willed it so. You know what I mean? Someone somewhere decided that they needed to have this kind of pacing. For whatever reason. Also, I mean, this is a bit of presumption and meta. I'm going to be shocked if we don't end up with Shiva's power at some point or another. So they probably already have some kind of idea in mind for how we're going to do that. Whether it's, Jill dies. or you know, something a little bit less horrible.
Forest, I said. Trees don't have teeth.
Try something out. Uh-huh. I could see that, Breakfast Sampler. And I will freely admit that is one of my bigger complaints about FF14. The good parts are great. The bad parts just make me want to start skipping cutscenes.
Can't imagine Obelisk needing any more than this. Time to head home.
Oh, let's go on this.
Well, did you...
I mean, as of this point, we still don't know who actually sent Benedicta's head to Kupka to actually tell him, hey, your bow is dead. Bowette?
Find me some wax?
Find is one way of putting it.
Ugh! Reeks like a chocobo's arse. Well, I don't suppose the Argo will mind as long as he stays above the waves.
Argo? So your boat has a name? I didn't know.
Yeah, what's up, Uthor?
Same as me old man. He was a ferryman himself back before the Blight came. The boat's all I have left of him. And thanks to you, he'll sail another day.
That's how you know it's fresh. Hang on. Rich people face consequences for breaking the law. I don't know. That might be a bit of a hard ask.
Yeah, Sid. How is it I never see you on the ferry?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Ah.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to teleport to my destination. Wong.
What happened here?
Come on. We need to find the others.
Fucking Imperials.
Best off staying where we are for now, I reckon.
Martha,
The boys from the garrison might still be nearby.
Found her. I'd rather not bump into them again.
Let's get you to a physical, shall we?
I'm sorry. I think I twisted something.
Real quick, what's the name of the rich Lalafell in ARR, specifically and only in ARR?
Sid? What said you'd be coming?
I trust you don't mind. Also thought you might need some help. And it appears he was right.
You, could say that, yes.
Yeah, Teleji. I think it was Teleji. But anyways, yeah. So Huthor, tell you what. Why don't we go ahead and have the fate of all these rich people be the same as Teleji Alegi? Or Adeleji, or how they say his damn name.
They're saying the Imperials ascended like a storm. No one was spared their fury. Martha tried to step in and calm things down, but all our efforts got her were a pair of iron shackles and a hard march.
Any idea where?
Yeah, or the guy in this very game who bought a wolf that wasn't trained.
Judging by their tracks, they headed towards Sorrowwise Bay.
To the Abbey sheltering Martha's bearers.
The bastards. Jill and I will go after them. You take care of the people here.
Listen to this music.
But, before you go...
Yeah, what up?
One of the locals heard something. He said the soldiers were talking about a culling. I don't know how big this is, but it doesn't sound good. Be careful out there, Sid.
You do the same.
See, usually this would be the moment for things to start turning around after the darkest moment.
That was no tavern brawl. It was a message.
But a culling. Bearers are the property of the Empire. The garrison wouldn't have the authority to act alone. The orders would have had to have come from higher up.
Yep, that food problem. You remember the food problem we had 5 years ago? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Looks like I can move it, but I can't actually drop two at once.
Look, up ahead.
I mean, they did just mention a culling.
Martha, are you hurt?
Don't worry about me. It's them at the Abbey who need you. You have to do something.
Tell us what happened.
What happened? The damn Black Shields, that's what happened.
The Black Shields?
The bastards caught.
I'm sorry, do we have time for this conversation?
The abbot and I were helping bearers. They were gonna hang us both. When the sick rose from their beds, poor souls turned on the Imperials. Distracted them long enough for me to get away.
Then, they may still be alive. Martha, do you think you can make it back to the inn? Cole is there with the other curse breakers.
I think so. Thank you, Clive.
I swear to God, if we get there and we're just like 1 second too late, or whatever.
Black Shields. Is this some sort of twisted joke? There has only ever been one Order of Shields in Rosaria, and they fought to defend all her citizens.
Seems a step too far, even for the Empire.
I just wanted you to have some nice music for this run up to the chapel.
Are we too late?
There might still be someone inside.
If only we'd gotten here 10 seconds sooner. Sorry. It's probably way too late.
No.
Damn it.
I thought you lot were all spent.
Murderers. They drove the bearers to this.
Wait. These two aren't turned.
That bitch of an innkeeper must have sent them. Colluding with the enemies of the Empire is a serious offense.
And for their crimes shall they be punished. Such is the law. To dwell in darkness that we may purge the night and welcome lasting dawn. On these our swords we swear.
How dare you speak those words? Have you no honor?
Clive.
Just kill them.
This won't take long.
Jesus Christ. I guess we got a trash sweeper.
Is that all of them?
I think so.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. What are those? What are the green things?
I didn't see the abbot. He may still be alive.
I don't see them anywhere. Yeah, we only have 20 of it, whatever it is. We just got 10.
Found her.
The abbot.
The bearers died protecting him. Calling upon what little magic they had left in their bodies.
Clive. He's breathing.
He's half stone, but he's breathing.
We're friends of Martha. We're here to help.
Are the Imperials dead?
Yeah, I electrocuted them while setting them on fire.
They are. Every last one.
If only that were true. The Black Shields will return. The cullings will continue. Rosaria will never be saved unless we save her. Tell Martha to beg Sid's aid and tell her this wasn't her fault.
I shall.
Sid! Where are you? Sid!
In here! We found a survivor!
Clive. He's gone.
We've laid the abbot to rest. But the bearers... they didn't need to die like this.
No, they didn't. But it was their choice. They knew the fate that awaited them and chose to meet it on their terms, fighting for those who fought for them.
Martha said they rose from their beds, threw themselves at the Imperials so she and the abbot could escape.
I've gathered the bearers' remains. We should consign them to the tide.
There's a drawbridge not far from here. Radix Jump. The currents there are swift. If the abbot was still with us, he'd have taken the dust there himself and performed the casting. I'll get someone to...
I'll do it.
Of course. Cole and I will remain here and see to the Imperials.
Enthuse a what now, Oni? I've never heard of such a thing. I know what you mean, though. Clive's voice actor is probably the most obvious variant. There was, let's call it energy, in his tone and how he spoke. You know, before 5 years passed. And there definitely isn't anymore. You want to know a very, very minor thing? It's not actually a complaint. It's another one of those weird decisions. Why is there no mini-map? Why is an Ahriman here? What? Huh? Well, I was even trying to avoid him, and the game was like, no, here you go. Here's the notorious mark. Okay.
Do you think it's spotted us, Torgal? What am I saying? Of course it has. It's a floating eyeball. Too slow. Give me thunder!
Wrong button. Yeah, like the upper right there is just perfect for, you know.
Nice try.
HUD placement.
Too slow. Nice try. You're a fine hound. Forgive me.
What? I don't actually know what happened there. I mean, I was trying to get out of the circle, but it didn't kill me the last time, so I figured I was fine. No, whatever. I love dying like 5 inches before the end of a boss is dead. That's the best possible time to die to a fight. Well, I'm never doing that again.
Too slow. Come on. I needed that.
I can't remember the freaking button. God damn it.
You didn't see that coming.
Anyways. I haven't done a manual save in a while. Yeah, so to explain that slightly, I think I actually dodged the first time, the first Doom Circle, because it didn't do anything. So I was like, okay, so I guess that's not the thing I need to get out of. So when he finally killed me with the Doom Circle, I wasn't really prioritizing getting out of it. Like, I was kind of idly getting out of it, but mostly just because the other AoE stuff was happening. I'm with you, by the way, Crimson King.
So shall the waters cleanse thee of thy burden, and bear it out to sea.
That would make sense, Blade Jamal. Because I was laying into him pretty hard.
And now they are truly free.
I hope so. What of the Imperials?
A pyre was made. It's more than they deserve. We should go back. Cole is worried about Martha.
All right.
We're best off staying where we are for now, I reckon. The boys from the garrison might still be nearby.
No one survived then?
I'm sorry. Before he passed, one of them bade me tell you not to blame yourself.
Doesn't mean I won't. Doesn't mean their blood's not on my hands. Cole said you cast their remains. That was good of you. But it should have been me. This was all my fault.
How? You couldn't have known.
But I did. And I turned a deaf ear to the warnings like the fool I am. The rumors started moons ago. Of black-clad devils descending on villages in the dead of night to slit the throats of sleeping bearers. But I assumed it was all just nonsense concocted by the Empire. Nothing but a ghost story meant to make folk think twice about lending a hand to a fugitive bearer.
And in ordinary times you would have been right. What these Black Shields are doing is unthinkable. Which begs the question, why do it at all? My mother obviously has a hand in this. I cannot make sense of her actions.
And picking what goes on in that woman's head is a job for someone with more time on their hands. Right now, I need swords and men to wield them, preferably big ones. If those Imperials think they can come in here again and threaten my people, they're in for a rude awakening. Oh, before I forget, a Stolas from Otto landed just before you arrived. He asked me to tell you that Gav has returned.
Then we must as well. Will you be all right here, Martha?
We can stay longer if you wish.
No need. I'll be ready should the Imperials come calling. Though I wouldn't turn my nose up if you were to lend me a pair of them strapping young curse-breakers.
So far the music is what I would call soaking standard quality. Nothing song-wise has really jumped out at me so far, other than the two. And I'm not sure either of them are song positive worthy. I'd have to think about that some more. Comparatively speaking, I'd put this up there with 9, I think, in terms of soundtrack. Side quests.
Try not to move.
Side quest.
You handy with that sword of yours? Course you are. Bet you're a bloody marvel with the thing. Now, Question is, are you willing to use it or not? 'Cause a flock of noble chocobos are in need of help.
Chocobos?
You heard me right. Wild birds? The big ones? And not just any chocobos at that. Whiteheart and her flock are the bravest birds you ever did see. They protect travellers round these parts from bandits and the like.
Chocobos? Fighting bandits?
It's true. Why, they saved me from a gang of footpads only yesterday. Nasty lot they were too. And now they're back, looking to settle the score. Oh, go on then. Don't just stand there. Go and help them.
Okay.
All right.
There's a good lad.
Where can I find these chocobos?
I saw him cut across the way over yonder. The rotten scoundrels were driving the poor things towards the old dock. It's a dead end, that is. You save Whiteheart and her flock, you hear me? There ain't a pluckier bird in all the world. She's a hero to us locals. And don't worry, you'll know her when you see her right enough.
I'm sure I will.
And good luck to you.
Yep, yep, okay. So, like... just to emphasize the Soken standard, Soken crazy, how many of you can guess which game currently, of the 400 or so games we've reviewed, has the most positives for both music and song?
Whiteheart. That's quite a name for a chocobo.
Yeah, FF14 by a mile. We've never reviewed Kingdom Hearts Eternus under any system, actually. That's not true. We reviewed Kingdom Hearts 3 under the old system. But yeah, no, it's FF14. FF14 is absolutely crushing it. I'm not actually sure what's after that. I did, Lanier. Thank you for reminding me, though. Oh.
A white feather.
It was for Urquan Master's Wing Commander and Patch Trail.
Speaking of brave birds.
Yeah, exactly. Pillars of Snow.
Looks like they went that way.
I don't think WoW will beat it on... So, that's actually a fascinating topic. Blake DeVol and I have been discussing WoW and FF14 and their varying philosophy to music. WoW has unarguably better music direction.
These chocobos aren't going down without a fight.
It has tremendous and extremely high-quality zone music, event music, you know, that kind of stuff. It's the kind of thing that it absolutely adds to the scene or the vibe or the tone. It also has just generally good music, but good songs? They just the approach is completely different. A lot of Final Fantasy music is far more video game, which is funny because WoW is usually the more video game of the two. I mean, MOAs are terrifying. Anyways, so what I'm thinking right now is I think WoW is going to absolutely destroy FF14 on music direction, and probably equal or beat it on music, but I think FF14 will remain the king of songs. I'm not sure anything's going to pass that. Like, ever.
We got you cornered, Feathers. You didn't think you'd seen the last of us, did you? You've been bad for business. But I reckon someone will pay good coin to mount your head on their wall.
Not around here, they won't.
Oh. And why's that, eh?
Because she's something of a hero in these parts. You hurt her, and I hurt you.
Piss off. Or better still, how about we hurt you both?
All right then. But don't say I didn't warn you.
did give them a chance. They could have walked down.
Nice try.
Hello. Alright, now he's dealt with, right? Like he's dead? Yeah, okay, cool. What's up? Yeah, they really put the trash in trash mobs, don't they? The non-mini bosses, I mean. See you around, Rex. I'm cutting off pretty soon on this.
Fuck. That's better.
I believe as of this moment in time, it's technically one of, it's Lufia 2. But there's an asterisk to that, which I don't want to go into right now. It's probably going to be one of the Mega Mans, being honest.
You're safe now. White Heart, I presume. Do you know her, boy? That scar. It couldn't be.
Aww.
Ambrosia. It is you. You survived. And you found yourself a flock.
Just the humans.
Oi! Is it over? I thought I'd come and see how you were getting on. Oh, you sorted the bastards then. I knew you would. And the whole flock made it through unscathed.
Thankfully, they did. And not only that.
Well, I'll be. I never stopped to think our hero here might once have been someone's mount. Though I dare say she'd suit a fine fellow like yourself. Reckon our feathered friend must have learned a thing or two from her master. Kind-hearted warrior that you are. Bird like her would have cost a princely sum. You born a lord or something?
Well,
Oh, no, sorry. I didn't mean to pry. Don't matter who you are. You done right by me.
What is it, girl?
She wants her master back, I reckon.
I'm sorry, can I interrupt and just comment on how funny it is that, like, oh my god, were you a lord? Is seen like an insult, as it should be.
Told you. And it seems our pals agree.
Is that it? You want to come with me?
Well, bugger me if this ain't a heartwarming sight. The lads down the stables will be hearing about this tonight. Oh, stay right where you are.
Yeah, it's been 18 years since Phoenix Gate. How long did chocobos live?
Doesn't she cut an handsome figure, eh?
She does indeed. How much do I owe you?
Ah, a few scraps of leather's the very least I owe old Whiteheart. Oh, I'll be sad to see her go, of course. But she's earned her right to happiness and more besides.
I noticed the eye patch.
Don't you worry, we'll get along just fine without her. You hear that, Whiteheart? You've earned yourself some time off. You have fun traveling with your master now. You seem awful familiar now I get a proper look at you. That's it. When those chocobos swarmed my cart on the road, didn't you? No, that can't be right. That fellow was a bearer.
Must have been my double.
Oh, must have been, eh? Oh, that'll be the excitement getting to me. Silly sod that I am. Pay me no mind. Anyhow, best be on my way. Good luck to the both of you.
You take care of your flock for now. I'll call you when I need you.
It's okay, I'm sure the blight hasn't moved forward more than an inch in the last 5 years. Thus, there's plenty of arable land and food around here to forage on. Come to that, I want to see something really quick. We just got a mount. We're like 29 hours in, or 30 hours. I've lost track. We just got a mount. Oh, absolutely, Eternus. Big gap. Almost every MSQ thing has bespoke animations. Trying to remember where that was. That's up here, isn't it? Yeah, here we go. There's the dim. Here's Eastpool. Let's go check that out. But almost every side quest has just, you know, lip flaps.
Damn bandits. You'll regret coming here.
Why are you here anyways?
It's over.
They're just standing around, and therefore they must die. In which direction, Hathor? Being able to do that? Yes. Or do you mean being able to do this? Or maybe you mean being able to do this. Or maybe this. Stay down! Gotcha. No, Uthor. Alright, so it's been 5 years, right? And the Blight has been progressing. They've said several times the Blight has been progressing, which is why you can tell it hasn't moved 1 inch. Moving on.
Now, where's Gav?
A letter? From me? That's true, Blade Javal.
Rosaria.
I'm just making fun of the 5 years thing. I apologize. I mean, I'm not sorry at all, so I shouldn't apologize. I shouldn't lie to you. I'm not sorry at all. I think we'll go ahead and pause here. I want to type up some notes anyways. So tomorrow, roughly 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, more of this. And we'll see if we can actually escape the bleak lands. Oh, absolutely, Arspruce. Do me a favor, though. Give me your thoughts tomorrow or on Discord, okay?